Hello, everyone. We're here with our meal planning series once again, and we're doing our last week. So we are going to talk about some budget saving tips for week 4 of the menu plan. And we're also going to use Owen's chef experience to ask a little bit about some of the recipes so that we can all get excited about what this week holds. So Owen, let's start with, what are your top budget saving tips for this week?
So we got to look at the big numbers. Look at the cost of the protein and the cost of your produce. Meat and veg are usually the top things to compare. So we've got chicken breast and I have round roast on this week. So we can compare fresh to frozen on those items, see what the sales are. Sometimes they'll have a big box of chicken breasts on sale. Or they'll have the 4 or 5 chicken breasts in a package on sale, so you can choose from those. And then for the beef, you can sometimes find frozen roasts that are cheaper. There might be a local food or meat vendor that would have a freezer full that they want to sell. There's many options there.
Those are great tips, great ways to save money this week when you are shopping. Next question. I've never put broccoli on toast. So tell me about cheesy broccoli toast, which I'm finding here. Day 2 lunch.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. Sounds interesting.
Well, there's the trend of avocado toast. Avocados are kind of pricey, and I know it's a trend, but broccoli and cheese is always a classic combination. A lot of people stick that in chicken breast, or they make a chicken Diane or a casserole with broccoli and cheese. So this one is just a good way to use up the end of your loaf of bread. Just make some toast and make a flavorful mixture of cheese and broccoli and smear it on there and melt it in the oven, make it kind of warm and melty. And yeah, it's just a simple filler.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Great to include that in the week of meals. Another question, we have Greek-style chicken sandwiches on day 3 lunch. What makes a chicken salad Greek?
So this is like a Greek-style chicken salad. So anything Greek in like Canadian cuisine, you always think of, or as a chef, you always think of like lemon juice, herbs, either like peppers or tomatoes. Feta cheese is pretty popular. And then this one has Greek yogurt as the binder for the chicken salad. So it's got Greek yogurt and mayonnaise, kind of half and half. So that's, if you want to jazz it up, you could even add like Kalamata olives, like Greek black olives. You could chop some of those up and put them in there. So that's kind of what makes this pita. I think it's pita, Greek.
Yeah, Greek style chicken sandwich. Yeah, it sounds good. Though that's a great way to think about it. And if you haven't had Greek in your diet, maybe this is the week.
Yeah, sure. It's a Greek week.
Yeah. I see beef fajitas is on for dinner on day 1. How easy is it to make beef fajitas?
Yeah, it's a bit of an ethnic week this week. Beef fajitas is actually really quick, super easy. Just slice up your beef and brown it off in a frying pan. Then take the beef out and then quickly fry up your vegetables that you want to put in, and then basically wrap them up in a tortilla, and there's a lime sour cream that you can either put in or dip it in, and it's a quick supper or quick lunch.
Sounds quite tasty to me. There's another one that I'm not familiar on, and that is day 7 dinner. What is shakshuka?
Yeah, shakshuka is it's an Arab dish. I've honestly never made it. It was on the Canada Food Guide, and I thought it would be a good option that doesn't have meat in it per se. So basically, you could make it in a tagine if you're going with the real Indian way of doing it, in a clay pot in the oven. But we would just use like an oven-proof frying pan. So you would do a quick saute with the the vegetables, and then add your cans of tomatoes, kind of crack your eggs and spread them out in the pan, and then you just let it simmer in the oven. And it says to serve the egg kind of runny still, so they wanted the egg to still jiggle in the pan. So something with protein. You could serve it over rice or chickpeas or pasta, even if you wanted to bulk it up, and just something different.
Nice. So it's a tomato and egg kind of thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
You almost feel like tomato egg stew.
Yeah. Interesting. And that's a good budget meal, I would think, because eggs are not expensive. So
You bet.
I might have to try that one. Day 7, shakshuka. And tell me now, what's the trick to a perfect eye of round slow cooker meal?
Okay. So you don't need a slow cooker, but it's nice to set it and forget it. So the secret, I learned it early on in cooking, it's like low and slow kind of wins that race. So low heat for a long period of time, usually with some moisture of some kind in the pot, and just let it go low and slow. My personal trick to making sure it stays tender is to sear the outside of the roast in a frying pan first. So what I would do is marinate it or do the dry rub from the recipe the day before and let that sit on it, and then sear it on high heat with a little bit of oil in a frying pan, and then put it in your roaster on top of your vegetables, again your slow cooker, sorry, and then let it go from there.
That's a good tip. So that is on day 3 dinner, and click on there and you get the recipe. If you are doing it in an oven, what would be the temperature you would put it at?
I'd go at like 275, 300, and depending on the size of your roast, at least a couple hours. You want it to grab a fork and you can pull it apart.
Yeah, nice. What's the best way to grill a steak indoors? And do you barbecue outside in the winter?
Yeah, steak indoors, I don't do very often. I would maybe do a cast iron like on the stove and finish in the oven. If you have like a George Foreman or an indoor grill with the lines on it, you could maybe set it under your oven exhaust hood and make sure you're venting the smoke out so you don't smoke out your house. I like to barbecue in the winter still. Just takes a longer time for the barbecue to heat up, and it doesn't hold its heat as good, so you kind of have to be out there in your toque and make sure it's staying hot enough, but it doesn't stop me from barbecuing.
Yeah, that's a great image, outside in your toque at the barbecue.
Yeah,
like
for sure. That's Canadian.
Yeah, so the steak, that's day 6 with barbecue veggies. So yeah, that sounds good. Maybe a challenge to everyone to take the barbecue out and do a winter barbecue.
Yeah.
Or try it inside with the tips we suggested here. What is couscous, and how are we using it in this week's menu plan?
So couscous is like a little pearly grain of semolina wheat. So it's a processed grain, but it's not as processed as it would be when you make it into pasta. So it's a little bit healthier for your digestive tract because it's not as processed. It's really quick to cook in water or stock, and you can mix it with vegetables. You can mix it with all kinds of seasonings, and it's just it sounds fancy and it's delicious. So
nice, and not too complicated. So even if it sounds unfamiliar, doesn't mean you can add it to your diet.
Yeah, variety is nice.
It is. Yeah, and the Canada Food Guide provides a lot of variety. We've been seeing with all our menu plans with recipes from there. So last question, what's your favorite day in this week's menu plan?
Day 3 for me, there's lots of protein that day. I'm a big meat eater. Can't really go without it, it seems. So we've got eggs toed in a hole at breakfast, so we get some protein there. And then lunch for the chicken salad sandwich is one of my favorite things. And then Obviously, a roast beef dinner is really good and can carry over till the next day. If there's leftover beef, you can have a roast beef sandwich, or if there's like leftover gravy, you can do a hot beef sandwich. And if you don't want to make a sandwich, you could chop it up and make a beef barley soup, or whatever beef soup you'd like to make with the leftovers. That works.
That sounds great. Day 3 does sound very tasty. And yeah, we hope everyone enjoys this week of meals. If you didn't get to it this week, you can always come back to our menu plan series and try it out. Lots of great recipes.
Yeah, everything. A wise woman once told me, everything in moderation too. So if you're finding that you're not as active in this COVID time and you're not moving around as much, watch your portions, and everything in moderation, sugar in moderation, and eat your leftovers, save some money.
Absolutely. Those are great tips. All right. Well, we're going to leave it there. Thanks for joining us with this meal planning series. We have a cooking video coming up this week, as well as Ask a Dietitian. So watch for those. And then this program is wrapped up. We hope you've enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been great.
Bye for now.
That was fun.
Yeah, I think that's great. Very good. I'll chop that up and we'll put it out there, and good.
Sounds good.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.